Good afternoon, guys. This is Dr. Cortez, and today we're going to talk about another lesson in electronic commerce, specifically lesson 3, the impact of e-commerce. And ayan, by the way, I want to introduce myself. I'm Doc Rich. I call myself as the business doctor, Dr. Negosyo, and I hope that you will learn something from my video today about electronic commerce. So yung ating topics for today. So I hope that at the end of these topics we're able to get the following: the ethics, moral and technology, ethical aspects of ICT, the overall impact of electronic commerce, and specific impact of electronic commerce. So hopefully, tapos ang ating lesson for today, ito yung ating mga kukuha. And yung mga topics to be covered specifically, ethical, social, and legal aspects of electronic commerce. To appreciate the ethical considerations when we're doing e-commerce, be aware of the global perspective sa commerce, example, the needs, the rules, regulations of our country when it comes to cyber crime that will affect our business. And my first slide is about the ethical aspects of ICT or electronic commerce. So we know that ang e-commerce meron siyang impact kasi ang e-commerce is part of technology innovation. So we know that all technology innovations have positive or negative impact. So kasama dito yung electronic commerce, no? Lahat naman may two sides, di ba? Kahit ali pinapakinabangan natin, meron pa rin siyang parang dark side. Example, yung when Einstein invented meron siyang theory about the physics theory na napakinabangan naman natin, pero ginamit ng ibang tao sa di maganda yung kanyang mga theory. Example, the nuclear bomb, although ginagamit natin nuclear energy sa araw-araw, di ba? Nuclear is one of the good sources of energy. Kaya lang, meron sa nuclear bomb. So, meron sa positive and negative impact. So, lahat din ng mga inventions or innovations ay meron sa mga downsides. Okay, and yan ang ethical aspects. We should be aware of the ethical considerations. For example, ang ICT or information communication technology, nagagamit natin sa example for storage of info, vast of information. Di ba dati sa disk drive tayo nag-store sa USB. Ang problem is pag nalimutan natin USB sa bahay, so wala na tayong ma-retrieve na mga data. But now, because of ICT, we can now store mga data natin sa cloud. Meron tayong mga cloud computing. We can now download from the cloud, from the internet, mga video na kailangan natin sa business, sa klase. Samantalang dati, yan ay nakastore lang sa ating mga USB. But now you can download everything from the internet, music video, data, documents na kailangan natin, mga forms, software, applications, right? So, very beneficial sa atin. Kaya lang, those are prone to cybercrime nga. If we can download info from the cloud, from the internet, we can also store info from the internet. Di ba? Very convenient para sa atin. right? Kahit di na magdala ng ng laptop, we will go anywhere. Example, we go abroad, naka-store sa cloud, sa drive yung ating mga data, and we can easily download, diba? Kaya ang problem doon, we are prone to hacking or any forms of cybercrime, diba? So meron din sa mga di maganda. For example, now we can write a whole book by just using Grammarly, ChatGPT. Kaya lang may issue doon about plagiarism, intellectual property rights sa ibang tao, no? So minsan ina-abuse natin yung ganon. We can copy example logo, may nakita ng logo sa internet tapos kinokopya natin para sa ating mga business, no, or marketing strategy, kinokopya natin. So we are prone to plagiarism or violation of intellectual property. Okay, and the next one, we can also use ICT. Example, in business, aside from business, we can also use ICT or communication technology, the internet in investment. Diba? It makes our business more simpler and mas convenient para sa atin. Example, if you want to invest in a bank without going to the bank, diba, you can just access their website and talk to somebody or to email, no? Or if you want to invest in stocks, tulad dati, no, I have a classmate dati na 1993. I was in college that time. So my classmate siya, ang kanyang business or racket ay is into stocks trading. So parang maya pupunta sa PSE or Philippine Stock Exchange Center for the trading. Pero ngayon, you can do your trading sa internet, right? You can manipulate your data, your portfolio, your investment sa internet, na madali siyang i-monitor. The same also with banking, di ba? You don't have to go to the bank anymore to monitor, to check your balance, kasi meron tayong online or mobile banking. Yun nga lang, we are prone to crimes, forgery, sabotage of data, usong-uso yung phishing, no? Example, ang bangko mo ay BDO, then somebody will send you a text message saying that they are from BDO, yun pala hindi. Then you gave your data, you gave your password, and they were able to open your bank account and withdraw all your money. Yun lang, no? Yun lang ang sa online banking. Kung may mga improve, nag-advance ang online banking, yung mga hackers ay ganoon din. So meron din masyadong maganda, na parang mas dumami pa nga yung crime nung dumating yung mga online banking, right? And of course, our data are not always safe because of spam, worms, viruses that can attack your data, that can attack your computer network, na pag hindi siya masyadong cyber protected. And so polluted din, no? Polluted ng internet, marami pakinabang, marami na mga bad things that are happening sa internet. And moving on, ito naman I want to share this one sa mga business. We have a law in the country. Ito ang tinatawag nating RA 10175, named as the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, was passed in September 12, 2012. ito yung hindi lang mga individuals ang affected nito, but if you are a businessman, you're also covered by this one. Kasi minsan, may ginagawang kinukuhan din ang isang negosyante, no? In violation of RA 10175, or sometimes the businessman is also a victim of cybercrime. So it is important for us to be aware that there is a law in the country that covers cybercrime. So ano ba yung tinatawag nating cybercrime? Ano ba yung mga acts na covered ng Cybercrime Act of 2012? Yung confidentiality, integrity, availability of computer data and system. Mga datang you still the computer system ng isang company, that is a violation. If you access illegally yung kanilang mga data, kanilang system, that is part of violation. Illegal interception, example, di ba? Somebody sending email to one company, then you intercept yung email na yon at ginamit mo, so that is violation. Data interference, di ba? You steal some data, you intercept data. Also, misuse of devices, the use of production, sale, procurement, importation of devices without valid rights, or without a right granted to you. And also stealing password, stealing computer programs, mga violation, example pa, cyber squatting, ibang you don't have a domain, iba ang website, dapat meron siyang domain, ang domain, then nag-squat ka lang sa domain na yon, nag-create ka ng website, no? So this is a violation. Yan, and also using existing trademark, ibang tao, example, you saw a website, then nakita mong maganda yung kanyang logo, yung maganda yung kanyang pangalan sa yung website, then ginaya mo siya, or kaya hindi sa totally ginaya, basta malapit, you have intention to confuse the users ng customers, pag nalilito sila kasi ginamit to, halos kapareho yung kanilang yung trademark ng isang company, so that is a violation, no? That is cybercrime. So yung mga covered, some of those covered, ilan lang yung sa mga covered ng RA 10175. So marami pa siya. Just have to visit or to know or to download yung laman ng 10175 para as a businessman, aware ka, no, kung ano yung dapat or hindi dapat. Alright, ito naman yung more importantly, hindi lang scientists and software engineers ang kaya na mag-hack, mag-commit ng cybercrime. Kasi ngayon, kahit plain customers, plain individual service providers, participants, middlemen, owners, they can also do something that can hinder good e-commerce. Kasi may alam na rin tayo, di ba? Example, we can hack, we can copy, we can intercept data, right? So hindi lang mga programmer do yung mga pwede mag-commit ng crime, kundi pati tayo ay rin dito, pwede natin dyan kasi we can steal data, di ba? We can steal password, we can intercept data, we can use programs na hindi tayo illegally retrieve data, or we're using a software or program, an apps na wala tayong subscription or license, no, to use. So hindi lang mga scientists and engineers ang pwede mag-commit yan, no? Pwede tayo plain businessmen can commit. Kahit nga yung pag steal ng computer, pag hack ng wifi ng kabilang building, ng kabilang business mo, no? na hinap ko ng wifi and ginamit ko sa iyong business. So that is part of of e-commerce crime. That is unethical, right? Okay, and my apology. I'm still under the weather. No, I'm not still in perfect health. I still have a hoarse voice, husky voice. All right, so moving on, the overall impact of electronic commerce. Ayan, so ano natin to. Okay. Globalization kasi, globalization is good for us people, for us as businessmen, kasi we cross boundaries. Ibig sabihin, we are not just making business in the country, hindi lang sa Pilipinas, no? But we are crossing border. Example, ASEAN. ASEAN 2016, no? All countries in ASEAN are doing business. You can do business in Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Brunei. Walang masyadong trade restrictions, no? Because of ASEAN 2017, no? Or 2016. So magandang globalization sa atin. Para yung technology, internet brought closer yung mga negosyante when it comes to e-commerce, marketing, tapos banking, di ba? You can sell products to other countries. Example, I have an advisee in doctoral programs. He is from Africa, so we are doing business, no? He consults me every now and then ang bayad through PayPal. So walang problema, di ba? Dati kasi parang pangit magkaroon ng customer client abroad kasi dati walang masyadong e-banking na ginagamit. Pero ngayon, example, PayPal, no? We're using that for to pay or to receive payment or to pay somebody outside the country, and also receive payment from outside the country. But electronic commerce expand the marketplace now to national, international market. So may mga customers ka internationally. Maganda dito, aside from dumami ang customers mo pag kaway na sa e-commerce business, yung cost of doing business ay napapabilis din. Example, advertising, di ba? Hindi ka na pupunta ibang lugar para mag-advertise, para magkabit ng billboard, di ba? Kasi meron kang website, meron tayong chatbot na ginagamit, meron tayong viral marketing na ginagamit, meron tayong mga messenger na ginagamit. So, ayun, mga ginagamit natin na hindi masyadong magastos para sa atin. Samantalang dati, we do print advertising, we do broadcast, masyadong magastos, So, ngayon, yung marketing, pag-distribute, di ba? Part din ng electronic commerce yung mga mga courier na naglalabasan. We don't have to go to the customers to deliver. May mga courier na umana ngayon, naglalabasan. Ayan, so yung cost natin, advertising, marketing, distribution, research, HR, di ba? Kasi ngayon you can hire a virtual assistant, freelancer from abroad, example, to do programming for your company, to do programming if you want to do program, you don't have to hire anymore a full-time programmer. May mga freelancer kasi na they can provide their services for you, example, per project or per oras, di ba? So that is less costly on the part of the company, kasi may mga people abroad that can offer the services. Hindi na sa maalis ng kanilang bansa kasi we do the programming for the internet. So mabilis na yung ginagawa natin. And additionally, ayun, sabi ko kanina yung the cost Far more importance of electronic e-commerce reduces example transportation cost. Dati magdi-deliver tayo susweldo mo yung driver mo, gasolina, fuel of the company, toll fee, expense na ng company. Ngayon may mga e-commerce businesses na i-offer courier services para sa ibang company. That is the B2B, no? Business to business type of transactions. So wala ka nang ginagastos. Yung cost mo dito na transfer mo doon sa mga ibang company or ibang courier company. Ayan, no? And you can also do marketing without going out. Laptop lang kaharap mo di ba? Pwede ka na mag-advertise kahit wala kang billboard, kahit wala kang dati kasi uso itong flyers, pamphlets na pinapamigay sa mga tao, di ba, na nagdadaan. Ngayon i-post mo lang sa social media, di ba? Post mo lang sa group mo, then i-share lang nila to. Kasi ngayon, di ba, lahat example sa atin sa Pilipinas, 85% at this moment magamit ng tablet or cellphone. So napakabilis, and sa ating mga data nakaraan, more than 80% tao, no? Yung mga connect sa internet. So parang kaling namigay ng flyers noon. Kaya lang, soft copy. Or we have at yung mga flyers or brochure, di ba, dati is pa maganda. Dati magpapaprint ka ng brochure, flyers, di ba, sa ibang companies na nag-offer ng printing service. Ngayon may mga tools na ginagamit, di ba, to print your own posters, flyers, like you're using Canva, di ba? So madali siyang gawin. So parang lahat na nga, di ba, sa atin na di ba? Yung mga panong to, halos lahat ang gusto mong gawin nasa atin na parang lang, at the tip of your finger, lahat ay nandiyan dyan. Okay, and ito naman specific impacts of e-commerce. Impact sa MIS or Management Information System, analysis, design, and implementation of system within an organization, issues of integration of front-end and back-end system. So because of e-commerce daw, ito yung flow ng the ecosystem ng MIS sa loob ng isang company, sa loob ng isang specific business. Siyempre meron pa rin tayong gumagawa, the people where, then yung tao gagawa ng process, sample, selling, invoicing, or encoding or programming. Then meron sang data yung ginagawa, no? If you produce data, yung laban na kasi ngayon, data management. The more data you have, the more data mining you can do, the more advantage for your business. As long as you know how to do data analytics. Kasama yun, di ba? Data analytics, data mining. Then of course, you will be using software. No? So, ang ganda ngayon, dami-daming software na nagkalat. Mga tools, mga apps na nagkalat na pwede mong gawin. And siyempre, you should be using your laptop, your tablet, your cellphone, your gadgets in doing business. Yan. So parang isang courier, yaking courier company in TokTok, no? I will mention TokTok, the courier company. So because of e-commerce, no? Yung TokTok example, gumawa siya ng sariling meron sariling system or mga tagagawa ng system ng company, no? Kompleto from receiving a call, signing, delivery, tracking of your delivery, ordering, Parang lahat sa platform parang lahat makikita mo din, yung mga data mo, mga transactions mo from 2 years ago, nandoon, sino naging customer mo, sinong pinag-delivera mo, sino yung delivery rider na nag-deliver. Ayun, so nandun, pati order ng mga merchandise na ginagamit ng mga riders, mga employees, nandoon. And also, if you want training, if you want to be refreshed on rider webinar, rider seminar, or franchise seminar, nandun pa rin siya. So, kompleto sa sabihin, pag meron kang e-commerce, parang lahat ng aspect ng operation ay gagawin mo Parang nandun lahat. So, mapipilitan kang gawin lahat as part of your MIS. Okay, and the second impact, human resource management daw. So because of e-commerce, since we are doing business for online, pati yung human resource management is also part of e-commerce, or dapat ay online na rin. From recruiting, ayan, di ba, you can apply abroad, tapos interview through online, the webcam, di ba, or pwedeng ang sa Messenger or ibang platform na ginagamit natin, di ba? Ibang meeting platform na ginagamit natin, pwede dun So recruiting can be done online. And ayun sinasabi ko kanina, pwedeng hindi ka na mag-hire ng regular employee na gagawa ng ibang task para sa'yo, kasi may mga virtual assistant, may mga freelancers na gumagawa. Example, you want somebody to receive your call to arrange your calls or appointments for you para sa yung company. No need to hire a secretary, kasi mayroong outsourcing. You can outsource those tasks outside sa ibang companies na gumagawa ng mga contracting jobs. So that is also still part of B2B or business to business type of business. And pati nga yung mga routine job ba. In one research, sabi ng isang research, in the future daw, like in 2030, may mga jobs daw na mawawala na. Or mga tasks daw na mawawala na. Papalitan sila ng mga virtual assistants or mga robots. Yes, tawag nila doon, avatar, or virtual salesman, virtual sales lady, As example, sales lady, the task of the sales lady can be already replaced by robots. I have seen a restaurant ang nagsiserve mga robots na So parang wala na mga crew, or robots na sila. Mga routine work sa HR, example, payroll, computing, it is now can be done later on by robots. Yan ang nagagawa ng e-commerce sa HR. Pati nga interview di ba? Kasi sa interview now, mga ginagamit ngayon na AI ngayon, sa interview pa lang malalaman na ng interviewer kung isang interviewee ay pagiging ideal employee. Kasi ngayon, di ba, pag nag-interview ka ngayon, tapos sa una magaling or pakitang gilas, but after 3 years, problematic employee pala siya. Hindi na pwedeng tanggalin kasi regular na. Mga ginagamit ngayon sa HR, mga AI, sa initial interview pa lang, ma-detect na through AI kung isang employee may ideal. So right there and then, pwede mo siyang i-reject sa employment. Ayan, mga magandang aspect ng e-commerce HR. Affected ng HR. Okay, and the next one sa finance and accounting naman, online banking, ease of transaction cost, mga online payment, mga platform na ginagamit natin. Unahin natin accounting, You can do kasi dati, You will hire an accountant, a bookkeeper, to record the transactions for you. Pero ngayon, ako, mga task kasing recording, pwede nang gawin ng mga robots or mga AI or mga mga applications, mga software. So parang madali nang gawin yung bookkeeping, right? And very accurate sa accounting, and it can also generate, diba? It can also generate the report, the balance sheet, the income statement, trial balance. So madali na, no? Parang ang lang dito yung pirma na lang, yung certification na ng isang accountant for tax purposes sa BIR. Ayan. So banking, ang bilis na. Without going to the bank, money transfer, debiting auto debit, to credit, di ba? And sana naman sa finance, marami na mga naglabas ng new forms of financing because of e-commerce, no? Because of social media. Example, if you want to get additional funds, meron tayong tinatawag yung crowdfunding. Yung bang you get your additional fund from the crowd, from the people. Parang gusto mag-donate or you want to solicit funds from them. So pwede na ngayon. Kasi ang bilis, no? Kasi sa example sa Facebook, no? Social media, meron ko yung ginagamit na platform to solicit or to do crowdsourcing, crowdfunding. Okay? Basically, you are just soliciting cash or funds from the crowd. So, marami naman nagdo-donate or chip in dun sa panawagan mo. Ayan mga accounting, and additionally sa accounting, diba? Yung mga assets now, blockchain technology, for example, Bitcoin, ay ginagamit na yung example ng mga asset natin now because of e-commerce. May tinatawag tayong tokenization of asset. Ibig sabihin, ang isang buong asset, ang isang physical asset like building or lupa, pwede na siyang i-divide into several parts as token. Example, isang building is worth 1 million. Pwede siyang hatiin into 1 million token. Kung yung token, pwedeng ibenta kahit kanino. Yung isang building, pag 1,000 token ang pag-aari mo, it means you own part of the building. So pwede na siyang hatiin ngayon through token. Hindi tulad dati, di ba, na hindi mo pwedeng ariin ang isang buong building. Ngayon pwede na, kasi inahati na siya, o pwede na siyang hatiin into several parts as token. Yeah. Di ba? So pwedeng libo-libo na may-ari isang building, di ba? Ay maganda sa part ng blockchain technology application. Tokenization of asset. Tawag natin diyan. Okay, and moving on, ito naman, economics, the impact of e-commerce on local and global economies. Understand the concept of a digital and knowledge-based economy and how this fits into economic theory. Ito yung sa impact of e-commerce example sa employment. Because of technology, may mga trabahong mawawala. Papalitan ng robots, papalitan ng Pero siyempre, kung may mawawalang mga trabaho, pero hindi mga trabaho paglalabasan. Kasi according to one survey o isang research, may mga jobs in 2030 na hindi pa pinag-aaralan ngayon, na hindi pa ino-offer sa college ngayon. At meron din mga jobs ngayon in 2030 ay maging obsolete na. So may unemployment, merong employment. Right? Ano pa? Example, yung sa banking, di ba? Example, mga Pilipino ay, according din sa research, hindi na ng Pilipino ay merong bank account. Wala pang kalahati nga may bank account yata yun. Pero ngayon, because of online banking, Kasi may mga app na may mga app na sila sa cellphone. Parang without going to the bank, you can do banking. So, madami mga tao na mag-banking. So, meron sang efficient investment kasi it is interest income on the part of the depositors. Ayan. Ano pa? Because of e-commerce, no? We are doing business outside. So, we have more revenues coming in. So, more income for the company. Additional to our GNP, gross national products. More income for the company because of online transactions or cross-border transactions, globalization. Income may tumataas. Yan. Pag mataas yung income mo, yung tax mo binabayaran sa government ay tumataas din. Pag tumataas ang tax ng government, ang daming gagamitin sa mga infrastructure. Public works, schools, highways, buildings, police, government employees. Right? Pero siyempre, sa online din yung pwede mangyari na may mga business online na hindi nagbabayad ng tax. Diba? Kaya, I know the BIR now is slowly chasing those online businesses para magbayad ng taxes. Ayan. And number 5, impact. Production management. The impact of online processing has led to reduced cycle times. Bumibilis guys, no? Bibilis yung production. Kasi nga, no? Pag ang employee kasi sa isang factory ay human, prone to diminish ang kanilang yung quality of their labor. Pag pagod na siyempre, kunti na lang napoproduce. Pag ginay robots or machines ang gumagawa, standard. Hindi nagbabago yung speed or rate of production. So mas maraming mga products ang magagawa. Bumibilis ang production, ang labor, ang operation ng isang company, isang cycle. Mabilis din. From cycle of producing goods, selling the goods, collecting, payment, purchase of inventory. So, bumibilis siya. Pati pag-deliver ng products ay bumibilis din. For example, reduction order example, processing orders can be reduced by more than 90% from days to minutes. I know one time na sa Toyota, in one car manufacturing company, I don't know if this one is true, cars can be manufactured in 62 seconds. So ganun kabilis. I don't know, not 62 seconds, but 62 minutes yata. 62 minutes can be done. Can be assembled in 62 minutes. So, can you imagine, di ba? Ilang products ang magagawa sa loob ng isang araw. Hindi lang sa production yan, but also in finance, marketing, di ba? At a click of your mouse, nako, ang bilis mag-viral ng isang video advertising. Di ba? Ganoon din sa networking, getting customers, di ba? Pag-post ka lang ang dami ng mga mag-likes, followers. In 1 minute, pag nag-viral yan, in 1 minute, libo-libo na yung mga nakapanood ng iyong video, advertising or recording, di ba? Okay, and the last impact of e-commerce sa business, specific in advertising daw. Given na yung online advertising In fact, ang online advertising luma na yun Ang social media advertising luma na yun Ang uso ngayon is yung tinatawag natin AI, Artificial Intelligence Advertising. Yan. Sa impact ng e-commerce, gumaganda ang ating online advertising kasi example, halos lahat marunong gumawa ng video advertising. napilitan kasi yun ang labanan. Sa business, you don't have online presence, you are dead. You are dead business. So ikaw naman na dati walang kaalam-alam sa video production, video shooting, video editing, napasubo ka ngayon, di ba? Napilitan ka ngayon kasi ang labanan. Otherwise, pag hindi ka sumabay, wala kang advertising na maganda. They're now doing, marami ng platform na ginagamit, di ba, na advertising. Also marketing strategies because of e-commerce. Ang daming marketing strategies ang lalabasan. It's an example nga pala yung unboxing. Because of e-commerce, unboxing ay naging popular na or effective na marketing strategy. Kasi nga napapanood. And another one, yung marketing strategy na live broadcasting, live streaming. Lumabas yan kasi nga e-commerce, wala namang streaming pag traditional store, di ba? Ayan. It can also predict. Kasi example, sa mga social media, may mga analytics silang ginagawa eh. Isang click lang maglalabas ng analytics ng example. Sinong pinakamaraming followers, lalaki, babae? Anong edad ang pinakamaraming followers? Saang lugar? Anong oras sila madalas manood? Ilang minuto ang pinaka-average na viewing? O yun ang mga behavior, di ba? Na nalalaman natin because of e-commerce. Wala nang door-to-door. That is thing of the past. Wala nang panahunan, no? May natatanggap ang mga brochure galing sa mga advertisers eh. Pag binuksan mo sa product catalog para bumili ka sa kanila, no? It was very costly on the part of the company. Ngayon, online advertising, halos wala na silang gastos. Hindi na nagpiprint. Hindi na nagprint ng mail, ng brochure, ng pamphlets, ng flyers. Hindi na nagbi-billboard. Hindi na nagbabayad ng artista o celebrity para endorse ang kanilang products. Kasi ngayon, simple social media influencer, hindi artista, hindi celebrity, can do the magic for you. Right? Ito yung mga impact ng social media, ng e-commerce sa ating mga business, no? Papaganda yung ating mga negosyo. Nagpipilitan tayo o gumagaling tayo. Nagkakaroon tayo ng chances na umangat ang ating mga skills because of e-commerce. Napapalaban tayo. Okay? And until dito lang muna yung aking lecture about the impact of e-commerce, and hoping that you learned something. Thank you for listening. This has been Doc Rich, your business doctor. And may request lang ako, ay mga hindi pa nagsasubscribe sa aking channel, subscribe naman po. And once again, thank you very much, guys.
And subscribe naman ako, guys, sa aking munting channel, Doc Oliver the Great TV, at yung aking isa pang channel, Doc Negosyo. Thank you!